The phone buzzed against a mahogany desk, its sharp vibration slicing through the stillness of my office at 2 in the morning. Her name lit the screen, Leah. My pulse quickened, not with affection but with the uneasy dread that had been gnawing at me for weeks. I answered, my voice rough from hours of reviewing case files. Leah, what's wrong? Her laugh on the other end was jagged, foreign. Nothing's wrong, James. Just checking in on my friend. The word friend hit like a slap, casual yet intentional, erasing 7 years of vows in an instant. My chest tightened, the air suddenly thin. I leaned back in the leather chair, staring out at the cold glitter of the city through the towering windows of my corner office. I was supposed to be at the top, yet one word had me unraveling. Her tone replayed in my mind, light but carrying something sharp. Mockery. Defiance. I forced a laugh, masking the churn in my gut. Friend, huh? That's a new one. Her silence stretched too long, filled with static and things unsaid. Then syrupy. Oh, come on. You're always so serious. But her words pierced like a splinter buried too deep. For weeks, I'd seen the signs. Late nights at the gallery. Her phone tilted just out of my line of sight. Eyes darting away when I asked about her day. Small details, easy to dismiss as stress. I was married to my work. She was immersed in her art. Our worlds had always spun differently. But now, those orbits were drifting apart. I told myself it was a grind. Long hours, exhaustion, the demands of my firm's latest high-profile case. Yet beneath it all, a voice whispered louder. Something's wrong. I left the office, neon lights smearing across the windshield as I drove home. Our brownstone rose ahead, glowing warmly against the knot tightening in my stomach. Inside, the scent of her jasmine perfume lingered, but the house was silent. No clink of glasses. No music from her studio. Just a heavy, accusing quiet. She was in the kitchen, pouring coffee, her silk robe slipping from one shoulder. She didn't startle when I entered, didn't even turn. You're up late, I said, my tone sharper than intended. She shrugged, still facing the counter. Couldn't sleep. You worked too much. I lied, though she hadn't asked for details. I studied her, the curve of her neck, her fingers circling the mug. Once, I would have crossed the room, kissed her bare shoulder, felt her sink into me. Now, I stayed rooted, the distance between us an unbridgeable gap. Who were you talking to earlier? I asked, trying for casual but missing badly. Her shoulders tensed. Then she turned, her smile too bright. Just a friend from the gallery. You know art talk. The word again. Friend. It burned, venomous. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the life we had, the trips to Tuscany, the midnight debates over briefs and sketches. But her eyes wouldn't meet mine, and the lie lingered like smoke. Right, I said flatly. Art talk. I turned away, footsteps heavy against the hardwood, each one echoing the question I couldn't ask. Who is he? Sleep never came. I lay in bed, her side empty, the sheets cold. My mind pulled at fragments. Her sudden obsession with late-night yoga, the new perfume, the text that made her laugh at dinner last week before she brushed it off. Each memory a thread, weaving a picture I didn't want to see. By dawn, fatigue dulled the edge of suspicion, but not the ache. I needed answers. Confronting her felt like stepping off a cliff. The next day, her mother, Evelyn, arrived. Sharp-eyed, quick-witted, the kind who saw through masks. Over lunch, Leah was all charm, filling the room with stories of her latest exhibit. I stayed quiet, my fork scraping against the plate. Evelyn glanced at me, then back at her daughter, her smile thin. You two seem busy, she said, voice probing. Leah laughed too loudly. Oh, you know James, always buried in work. I forced a nod. Evelyn's gaze lingered, reading what I couldn't say. That evening, Leah announced she had a client meeting at the gallery. 8 o'clock. Saturday. My jaw clenched, but I held back, just watched her slip into a dress that fit too perfectly. When the door shut, Evelyn poured herself a glass of wine, her eyes steady on me. She's lying, she said quietly, certain. My chest lurched. What? I asked, though the truth was already there. Evelyn sighed, tightening her grip on the glass. I've seen that look before, with her father. She's not at the gallery. Her words gutted me, confirming the truth I'd been avoiding. Anger flared, hot and reckless, but grief cut deeper. What do? I whispered, breaking. Evelyn leaned closer, her expression firm yet gentle. You find out, then you decide who you are. I drove to the gallery, knuckles white on the wheel, dark windows. Empty. My phone buzzed her name. I ignored it, blood pounding in my ears. I called her assistant instead. Maya faltered, admitted Leah hadn't been there all week. The truth slammed down, undeniable. Maya gave me an address, a sleek loft downtown. I drove. Through the window, I saw them. Leah, head thrown back in laughter, a stranger's hand gripping her waist. The world tilted. Rain began to fall, soaking me where I stood. Heartbreak waged war with fury. But worse was the shame. How had I missed this? I'd built a career on exposing lies, yet I'd been blind to my own wife. I wanted to storm inside, but my feet froze. Instead, I called her. She answered breathless, guilt thick in her voice. James, you're my ex now. I said, my tone final, ice cold. I hung up, my hand shaking. When I turned, Evelyn was there, stepping from the shadows. She'd followed me, her face unreadable, but her faint, knowing smile said it all. She had seen this coming. Now, so had I. Rain hammered down, blurring the city lights as I walked away, each step heavier, carrying the weight of a life I thought I knew, now shattered beyond repair.